Welcome everyone, Lionheart Plays here, and today we're going to be bringing you the final power rankings of the Elite Battle League Season 4. Before we get started, just a couple of things. Number one, apologies for the mess. No green screen today, as you guys can see. More importantly, couple of changes that have been done for this this season. This season's been pretty crazy so far, so we do thank you for your patience and everything. Last minute changes that were done that couldn't really be helped. If you guys haven't seen the weekly roundups that is hosted by Lonely Hermit, definitely go check that out. He'll explain in more detail as to what happened. But at the time of this recording, there is no there is no week 5 for the Elite Battle League. You might see some matches here and there. They're not official matches. Instead, the EBL will be going directly into the play-in games. This is due to Landon, aka Inferno, having to drop out due to a medical emergency. Again, at the time of this recording right now, he is fine. Everything is well. But yeah, he did have to drop out because of his medical emergency. And to make things even and simple, Derek, always more videos, also had to drop out as well. It was his final season. He was planning on retiring regardless. However, of course, everything other than that, everything is fine. Again, more information has been covered during the weekly roundups, again hosted by Lonely Hermit. So definitely check him out, check Landon out, check Derek out, and check out all the coaches while you're checking everybody out as well. And if you haven't already, and you find yourself on this video, why not check out the Elite Battle League channel as well? Go ahead and do so. But with all that said and done, without any further ado, of course, let's just go ahead and jump right into Week 4's power rankings, which should be fairly quick because this week has been filled with a lot of one-sided battles. The weekly roundups cover the the specifics of the battle. We're only going to cover the rankings, and most of these are going to be here or there. You know, it's going to be fairly short and simple. Like I said, this week has been nothing but mostly one-sided battles. So without any further ado, going into number 12, we had the Texas Tyranitar. They faced off against the LA Inferno. So to begin with, and you're going to hear me say this a lot, but it was a bad team matchup to begin with. Texas going up against LA. And, you know, of course, if you guys haven't seen the video, definitely check it out. But bad team matchup. The Aggron set still needs some serious assists. And once the Mewtwo got up and running, there's really nothing that the Doorman could have done at that point. Like I said, just bad matchups all the way when it comes to this battle. Going on to number 11. Number 11 is being held again by the Walton Wingles, coached by Nate 2. They fought the Indiana Igglybuffs, which in and of itself is no easy feat because Bob is easily one of the best battlers this league has seen. But I will say that I feel like Nate has been improving in his battle tactics and strategies and everything. He is getting outside help, and that seems to be helping him a lot with you know, as far as him improving and his logic and whatnot as to the Pokemon and the moves that he should bring. Still definitely room for improvement, but it's good to see that he's at least battling. I feel like even though they had the same score lines, more or less the same thing happened, I feel like Nate put up a little bit better of a fight, I guess. And again, not to offend anybody, but I mean, it is what it is. I feel like Nate did a little bit better. Regardless, going up against Bob is not an easy thing to do. So just another bad matchup against the Indiana Igglybuffs. But yeah. So that was number 11. Going into number 10, we have the Iowa Incineroar, who is coached by Inferno, aka Landon, who again had to drop out due to his situation. He's much better now, thank goodness. But in this battle, they faced up against the coach of the Florida for Alligators, which is yours truly. And again, not to toot my own horn or anything, but Not an easy person to go up against either. Couple of things that Landon could have done a little bit better to prepare would be to, run better calcs for his Pokemon for both his opponent and his own team, because there seems to be a little bit of confusion on who could outspeed who. The Skarmory, for example, is not in the same speed tier as Alolan Ninetales. Alolan Ninetales outspeeds even the regular Cantonian Ninetales. And not a lot of people know that, so it's best to see what you're capable of, what your opponents are capable of. So there seems to be some confusion there. So just run calcs a little bit better. A couple of misplays that occurred in the game, of course, which were cause to losing the game. Of course, the weekly round will go into much further detail than I will. But that's number 10 for you. Number 9, we have the Atlanta Braviary going up against the Essex Espeons. There was a couple of misplays done on this one between both the Volcarona and the Genesect. Regardless, though, Pidge is another great battler in the league. Easily one of the favorites, as Lonely Hermit likes to say. So going up against Pidge is not an easy one. So I think this was also another bad matchup. A team full of bugs going up a very, very well-balanced team like Essex. So not entirely surprised that this didn't result in the way in favor for Atlanta. But they kind of been fluctuating up and down the rankings a little bit, but they found themselves squarely on number 9 for this week. Coming up at number 8, we have the Florida Feraligators, coached by yours truly, going up against the Iowa Incineroar, who's coached by Landon. With this battle here, the predictions were on point. We came prepared for everything. Smart use, and I think it was smart, me trying to use my opponent's terrain because of status and everything, Thunder Wave, burns, and all that good stuff. People like using statuses against me, so, Mystic Terrain kind of helps all of that. So I think it's kind of good that we used our opponent's, own moves and abilities to work in our favor. Hindsight being 2020, however, the Whimsicott and the fish didn't need to die. Looking back at the battle, those were unnecessary deaths. They were calculated, yes. Did they go down for a reason? Yes. Was it on purpose? Yes. But looking back, should they have? No. So I guess that use, I don't know how to say it, but that, those bad decisions there, contribute to Florida being a number 8. Regardless, however, they had complete control of the match through and through. But that's it for number 8. Moving on to number 7, we have the reigning champs themselves, Essex Espeons, coached by Pokey Pidge. Again, going up against the Atlanta Braviary. He earns his place here at number 7. His calcs paid off. It wasn't a good matchup for Atlanta, like I mentioned before. Like I said, the calcs paid off. Believed that he had calculated the Eternatus living on some HP if he invested in this versus this, and the calcs paid off, which allowed him to knock out the Dynamax Pokemon that Atlanta had, which I believe was the Pheromosa. It felt as if the match was in Pidge's favor for most of it, and also his predictions were also on point. Moving on to number 6, we have TJ Gengars, who faced off against DC Starmies. So this one's interesting because lag and misclicks is something that I don't know if it would have changed anything, but I do think that it definitely did play a part. If it would have changed the match, it would have been a close match, but it definitely would not have been such a decisive victory for DC had these misclicks not happened. And I think that they played a part in his victory. Also, of course, it was just a bad matchup between the Reshiram and the rest of his team because that one Pokemon kind of soloed his entire team. He had a move for everyone that Luigi brought out. That's pretty much it for number 6. Number 5, we have the Kentucky Kinglers, who faced off against the Detroit Lux Race. This one was just another bad matchup against Max. You know, the good thing about a Kentucky is that, you know, we've seen the capabilities of Derek as a battler, easily one of the best battlers that this league has ever seen, and whatnot. You can give him a team as what he has now, and he will still destroy everyone in his path. This is just the one loss that he's had, you know, for the season, if I'm not mistaken. Someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, of course. But this loss, you know, he's still fairly comfortable where he's at, you know, record-wise. But overall, it was just a bad matchup against Max's Rain team. Starting with number 4, or going to number 4, rather, I can't talk tonight, is the LA Inferno, who took on the Texas Tyrannitars. So LA is actually coming back really, really hard, you know, after suffering a pretty big defeat for week 1, coming back for week 2, going off against Bob, going back, facing up against me, week 3, which again is no easy feat, you know, and then for week 4, you know, they're just winning left and right so far, having that one loss. Calculations were on point. Every move was planned and executed to the T, exactly as Hermit had planned. Everything was planned and calculated. Walked away with the weekly MVP in Mewtwo, which it's Mewtwo. But you know, good job on this one, climbing up the ranks. Just the LA Inferno are going at it. I can easily see him being one of the finalists for this season. Before we move on to the top 3 rankings, of course, if you have not already, guys, we're just a quick reminder to check out the Elite Battle League channel. You're here already. Check out the rest of the videos. We got the top 5 plays. We got the top 5 fails. We got the weekly roundups hosted by Lonely Hermit. The top 5 fails are hosted by Latin Luigi. The plays are hosted by Pokey Pidge. The rankings are hosted by myself. A couple of other things as well that we have going on. And more importantly, of course, check out the coaches, whose links are also going to be in the description below. They're amazing battlers, content creators. There's no reason why you shouldn't check them out, and their battles are just chef's kiss. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Now let's go ahead and move on to number 3. Number 3, we had the DC Starmies, who went up against the TJ Gengars. We did go over a little bit when we talked about number 6, but the DCs were able to pull off a very decisive win against TJ. I will say that had it not been for the lag and the misclicks that TJ had done, this battle could have gone differently. Not necessarily to where TJ would have won, because I think that despite that, I think DC could have still pulled off the win. It just would not have been as decisive. So I do think that the OBS lag that the Gengars had definitely played a part, and I think that DC got lucky with this one. But regardless, Timmy is proving himself to be quite the battler. Still a wild card, as this is his inaugural season and whatnot, but still quite the battler, quite a skilled battler. Can't wait to see where he goes from here, how he does in the playoffs and everything. Coming in at number 2, this one was tough to place because they have been doing very well for the past 2 seasons, last season and this season, of course. We have number 2, the Detroit Lux Race, who is coached by Game Reviews, Max. They went up against the Kentucky Kinglers. This one, again, bad matchup for Kentucky, but everything that Max has done with his battle was executed, and it was executed flawlessly, and that led to a very decisive victory against Kentucky. Nothing much to say with this one. Moving on to number 1, we have the Indiana Igglybuffs, who is coached by Yeltneb, aka Bob, as we like to call him, his name, who went up against the Walton Wingles. Walton Wingles, again, again, not much to say with this one. Bad matchup. Dragonite put into work. And speaking of Dragonite, congratulations to Bob and Dragonite for getting the season MVP. So Dragonite is going to be one of the Pokemon that is going to be on next season's logos. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that turns out and everything. Now we just got to see who the playoff MVP or, you know, all that good stuff, how that goes. Who's going to be the next Pokemon that's going to be on the logo. But with all that said and done, those are our 12 teams in that order. We have, again, 12 coming in. Coming in at 12, we have the Texas Tyranitar, number 11, Walton Wingles, 10, the Iowa Incineroar, 9, Atlanta Braviary, 8, Florida for Alligators, 7, we have the Essex Espeon, 6, the Tijuana Gengars, 5, the Kentucky Kinglers, 4, the LA Inferno, 3, the DC Starmies, number 2, we have the Detroit Lux Race, and number 1, the Indiana Igglybuffs. Everyone, I do want to thank you for watching the video. If you guys enjoyed, hit the thumbs up, make it turn blue, subscribe to Elite Battle League channel if you have not already, and check out the coaches if you haven't checked them out already. Check them all out. Check out their Twitches, their Twitters, their YouTubes, and everything. I can't talk tonight, I'm sorry. Check out everything, their OnlyFans, and all that good stuff. With all that said and done, if you have a favorite part of the video, go ahead and comment it down. If you don't have one, comment your favorite emoji. Interaction helps us out. Goodbye. Bye.